Good evening. Welcome to Land Tammer Stream. It is Hump Day, Wednesday, and we are continuing in the CCI journey, day 290, I believe. Yes, 290. So, I just want to vlog a little bit more about this journey, what happened today, what's going to happen tonight, and how things are going with 54 days to go till the written exam. Yeah, this image of the day, by the way, wallpaper of the day. Parker Solar got back its first data on its probes. You know, it's launched over a month ago, heading towards the sun. So that's a good sign, you know. Always cool to see astronomy type stuff, space exploration type stuff. Kind of a little hobby of mine to set the tone. But yeah, today's vlog on progress. This is just general career. You know, I did do, for the first time today, I completed my first set of C# code. Never thought I'd be saying that, but yeah, the team I'm working with now, you know, we have people who know how to code, and they kind of turned the reins over me today to do a little bit of learning, and it was totally like over the shoulder guidance. I had to install and configure Visual Studio, the full version, and I went ahead and installed it here on this Mac too. I have several licenses I can use at my disposal. So yeah, play with a little bit. It is a monster. Like, it took me probably all day to get everything I needed to run just so that I could work on this particular project. But man, it works great. Did a little of the live sharing. You know, you have that feature with Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio itself, where you can basically, multiple people can get in the project and follow each other's cursors, watch the edits they're making. Really cool, and I've talked about that here on the stream before, so love it. I mean, it's a whole new world. And the integration of .NET with Azure, I'm really starting to see some of the power and why it is that a lot of people, you know, who are used to coding in the Microsoft camp, used to .NET, like Azure. Because if you want to monitor your application, for example, it's so easy to provision or to put in your code a call to write to Application Insights, for example, which is an application level monitoring service native to Azure. Cool stuff, man. And I'll talk about that more as time goes along. But let's get back to networking CCIE stuff. Interesting, I should point out, though, even though, you know, in this team working on where we're doing coding, and they're, you know, advanced coders, and there's me from a networking background working on cloud stuff, it was interesting how, you know, working on a particular routine or some subroutines to sort of monitor a service running in Azure, and to monitor, in particular, this one had to do with storage. And it's interesting how the principles that we use in networking, and I brought this up with a group because we were trying to draw out a process diagram. And I'm like, oh, this is very similar to the state machine of a routing protocol, you know, like OSPF, for example. We were having to maintain a number of state, and there are coding libraries that are work really well with this. But it was just really interesting how I was able to grasp this kind of how one of these libraries, these routines work, because they're very similar to monitoring the state, maintaining the status of the state of other resources, like an interface, right? Or a forwarding interface, a route. So it's interesting how computing principles cross over into multiple areas, you know, and are used throughout an enterprise in different computing components, right? They're all computers when it comes down to it. All right, networklessons.com. I labbed earlier today. I think it was before work. I actually had time to finish this multicast igmp proxy. I fixed the issue. I figured out where it was. And you may or may not remember from last night, but I'm going to post this on Twitter. Or no, this will probably go to Instagram. Generally on Instagram is where I post. I try to do daily about like Wireshark captures and things like that. So I have this. This is the result. And if you notice anything, you may or may not notice something unique. This is a regular IGMP v2 membership report, group-specific membership report, called the join message, IGMP join message. Do you notice anything unusual or different from a normal IGMP join request or membership report message? If you do, then you've grasped what the IGMP proxy is doing, because generally, right, look at the destination. This is not a multicast address. This is a unicast address. That should tell you right there that this is the IGMP proxy who knows that it cannot just send the join request up to the multicast source using a multicast address. Right? The proxy knows that there's a unidirectional link, as we talked about yesterday. So what it's going to do is going to send to a specific IP address, a unicast, so that that will go out the interface that we want, that we know where we can send the join request. This is how you see it. And I don't know anywhere here that you can actually determine that this was sent by a router running IGMP proxy service. The only way you can really tell, because look, the multicast address is here, 239.111. That's the IGMP message. But the destination is what is going to tell you that that's a unicast address, and that is coming from an IGMP proxy. What I had to do is I had to fix in the topology. One of the devices was running, or one of the interfaces was running PIM, and it should not have. Anyway, we got that fixed. We're moving along. Now I'm working on point-to-point protocol. And this is just an overview. It has some labs in here. Are there any captures? All right, there are a couple configurations here. I may do that. These are serial links. But just as a matter of review, I may do this this evening and then move on to PPPoE server client. Actually, I may do my configuration there. So we've got 1, 2, 3 PPP labs, or lessons, I should say, to do. So that's where I'm at tonight. Just trying to make progress on that. Let's see. That leads right into our trivia question. Moving right along here. If anybody remembers from yesterday, my trivia question was, with an IPv4 DHCP request process, what are the 4 different packets or transactions that happen in order for a DHCP configured client to obtain an IP address, an IPv4 address? Do you remember? And what are the packet types? And are they unicast, broadcast, etc.? Well, this is how it breaks down. So you have the client, or the host, sends a DHCPDISCOVER broadcast, right? The host doesn't know how many DHCP servers are on the LAN segment. So it sends a broadcast. There may be one, there may be none, there may be multiple, right? So it sends a broadcast. And then one or multiple servers, DHCP servers, is going to hear that broadcast on the LAN segment, right? Technically, there may be an IP helper, a layer 3 device running IP helper that may forward it, so it may not be on the same broadcast segment, but in the same broadcast domain, right? But the DHCP server is going to respond. We could put arrows here too. Actually, yes. So we'll do arrows. I have to take those out later because YouTube doesn't like arrows in the description. So then we have a DHCPOFFER unicast from the server. All right, do you remember what is next here? This can get tricky. This can definitely get tricky. DHCP broadcast. So at this point, speaking of state machines, right, this sort of transaction, at this point, one or more servers may send a DHCP offer unicast back to the host. Then the host will choose. So do a DHCP request broadcast. Why? Well, if two servers, for example, have sent offers, that those IPs are held up in kind of a pending state, right? They're still not permanently assigned, but the DHCP servers know I've made this offer. This address is in limbo. Let's see which one the DHCP host wants and that it requests, right? And in that case, let's say it sends it to server 1 for all practical purposes. The first server that generally it's the first one that responds. I believe this is, yeah, DHCP acknowledgement unicast. And the reason, yeah, so I think I skipped over something. The reason this is broadcast is because, let's say it picked server 1 but not server 2. In this case, the request, server 2 knows that it was not chosen, right? So the server sends this to the host as an acknowledgement, and then, you know, the host knows, the servers know what the deal is, and it is assigned. Now, other things can happen. This is I should have said a successful. There are NAC, negative acknowledgement, saying, you know, actually, no, you can't have that. So even though a host requests it, something may happen and the server may say, no, actually, you know what? I'm not going to give that to you. What is going on here with VS Code? There we go. So that is the process for a successful DHCP request. And the trick is remembering unicast. And when you think about it, broadcast makes sense for the host because it's sort of an election process that others could be participating in. So they need to know what the host is doing. And the offer and the acknowledgement and really any other server messages need to go back unicast to the Ethernet host that it wants an IPv4 address, right? Because there could be multiple and it needs to keep track. There is a code. I think it's a random code. Let's look in our packet captures. I think I have one. This is also on the GitHub repo. Shoot, I don't. I need to come up with one. You can get them anywhere though. DHCP. Let's go ahead and look at one. We're talking about it. Why not? Right? I'm just going to search DHCP cap. Yeah, here's the 4 messages. Okay, so this is the first, which is a DHCP. Oh, discover. Sorry. Did I say discover? I did. Okay. I did say discover. Thought for a second there that maybe I had not. DHCP discover. Notice there's a transaction ID, which is a good idea. You could have a switch reboot or a stack of 10 switches reboot. all of a sudden what's happening? You have potentially like 400 clients. You know, it could be a slash 16. You've got 400 clients, hopefully it's not, but requesting DHCP addresses. So there has to be some, I think this is some sort of randomly generated. I could be wrong on that. It could be based on the Ethernet address, the locally originated portion, locally administered. No, that's not saying the correct thing. That is just a flag. The individual address. No, what am I thinking of here? I'm trying to say that portion of the MAC address. That's the OUI. This is called the global unique address. I think that's still just a flag. Anyway, notice this says boot P for the ether type. Wireshark just posted on Twitter, wireshark.org, I think, that they're going to actually change this. It is technically ether type boot P, according to the original spec, but everyone knows this as DHCP, and boot P is pretty much gone. So they actually announced that they're going to change what this looks like. Can you use this as a display filter? You cannot. At least not on CloudShark. But you can boot P. Wireshark says they're going to change that. So they're not going to be so technical and just basically use whatever everyone knows it as. Anyway, we could see here obviously we don't have a layer 3 source address. We do have an Ethernet source address. Now notice what the DHCP offer says. What it's saying here is it does include its own source. And notice this is unicast. So it's not 255.255.255. What is the destination? Well, the destination is what is going to be the new IP address. But the important thing is the Ethernet destination is the original requester, right? So he's putting 192.168.0.10 as the IPv4 destination. That is a holding place. Yes, it is technically a unicast message at layer 2. It is also a unicast message at layer 4, or layer 3, sorry, IPv4. But that is not necessarily a, what do we like to say? Encoding source of truth on what IP address that machine is going to use, right? Then we have the broadcast in the other direction. So everyone knows, okay, I do want this IP, right? And if we look at the bootstrap protocol, here are the options. And he's saying, yes, I do want this. So then we get the acknowledgement back. Same transaction ID, same destination address at layer 2 and at layer 3, and our transaction is done. So I hope you got part of that right, if you were thinking of it in your head. It took me a lot of drilling to get this in my head. Like, I saw this question, you know, I think I had this question or something like it when I took the CCNP, maybe even the CCNA. And when I was going through the boson exams, I would get this wrong until I drilled it a number of times. I looked at Wireshark, etc. All right, next trivia question for tomorrow night. Describe the following MetroE services. In other words, I'm going to give you some acronyms like EPL, and I want you to tell me what that acronym means, or try to think of it before tomorrow, in other words, or type it in the chat, whatever the case may be. Then I want you to tell me, beyond what the acronym means, what is the implementation? Like, how is this service generally implemented? And you know, in terms of type of connections, what services are riding over the service. What services are running on top of the MetroE service? Is it like a layer 2? Is it layer 3, layer 4, whatever? And then is it a port-based or VLAN-based type service? So yeah, if you get those, that'd be great. Let me know, or think about it before tomorrow. See if you can get it right without Googling it. If you can't get it right in your head, or if you just want to double check, look at the drill sheet, which is on the GitHub, or Google it and see what you come up with there. A couple of meat chunks I want to talk about here. One is, this is a good one. There's a lot of material. I have done a vlog about this. I've seen it done recently on Network Collective. But I tell you, I really like, lately, Packet Pushers has been putting out more and more video. And Greg Ferro has been putting out videos now, I mean, once or twice or more a week. And you know I'm going to watch, you know, Greg Ferro is one of my original inspirations for putting my often crazy, you know, loosely based on facts opinions out there for the whole world. And he actually does a really good job on this. He has a little chart, kind of reminds me of a Magic Quadrant, where he talks about imposter syndrome and gives a really nice perspective on it. Not even your traditional perspective of what people say, but he goes a little deeper, which I like. And then this was a post today, Network 4 Dev. This was a site that I think I have it open, maybe? Let's see. I don't, but I'm really looking forward to this. I hope to contribute to this one day. This was something put out. Nic Russo is like one of the first big contributors. So this is basically an open source repo hub for network coding. And this is NAT 4.4, which is cool. I really like. It's a lot of notes, but, you know, I think it actually has some code in here. You can contribute. I want to one day contribute to, there's a cloud, and or maybe even F5. Do they have load balancers here? So they've got an infrastructure section. Shoot. Okay, general networking, cloud networking. Yeah. I would like to contribute to this at some point. I don't think they have anything out here yet. Oh, they've got some notes. Okay. Do they have any code? Okay, that's just a general overall. Where's the code at? Okay, to GitHub, this is their repo. Docs. And I'm assuming that... Oh, a day ago. This is probably what was contributed. Okay, NAT 44. These are just notes. Interesting. So it's almost like a wiki, too. Looks like. I mean, I don't know like exactly what it is, but I think it's going to be cool. Put it that way. And it's Daniel Dibb, very respected member of the community. And so I hope to be able to contribute as well. Also, another site I saw came up today that's interesting is something launched by Kevin Wallace called the Cert Accelerator. I like the name. It is a monthly pay service of $24 a month, introductory. And he's got a free 3-day trial. 4-year anniversary. Wow. And I was looking at some of the content he has. I guess this is a lot of, he calls it like his Netflix of, you know, training videos, but he also has some packet tracer labs in here. A lot of this looks like CCNA, CCNP. There is a CCIE collaboration video series, I think. So not a lot really that would be for me. He does say that he wants to, oh, there's some audio files. So CyberOps, a lot of stuff in here. I don't know. I can't say buy it. I would say if these, I have watched a lot of his videos that are free, and he does have a good teaching style. He's very clear. I really liked his videos on QoS. His videos on QoS, he had a series of 3 videos. Actually, it was really helpful to me. So, anyway, I would say, you know, hey, there's a 3-day trial. Check it out if any of those are things that you're working on. I like the name. Cool stuff. Passing that along. So that's all I have, folks, tonight. We are on day 290. Tomorrow will be day 291. I can't believe tomorrow's Thursday already. But hopefully we'll get through a lot of this PPP, PPPoE stuff and keep on keeping on. Thanks for stopping by tonight, folks. Definitely check out in the Discord channel if you have not already. There are now, I think, 3 people who are also, apart from myself, we're also in our Discord community that are vlogging every day about their journey. One is CCNP route switch, one is CCNP security, the other is CCIE labbing phase. So definitely check us out and check out those videos to get some inspiration. I had a really great comment on YouTube today from a viewer just thanking me and appreciating consistency and the hard work, and I say thank you all. I'm very grateful to the community who has inspired me to and give me great feedback. So we're going to keep doing this, folks. We will see you back here tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Definitely, give us a follow here on Twitch. If you got a sub laying around from your Amazon Prime, you get a lot of Amazon Prime folks may not know that with Amazon Prime subscription, you get a free Twitch Prime subscription that you have to renew once a month, and feel free to use that here if you like. We also have YouTube site. I did post a video. I did not link it here. I need to do that. If you're interested in the EVNG Pro upgrade that happened, that just came out, I posted a separate video. It was not on stream, which I know is unusual for me. Generally, I stream everything, but I'm trying to mix up content a little bit. There is EVNG Pro new features. So I will link that here. Well, I'll link that right now. It's a brief video, short, about 9 minutes long, something like that. We'll tell you all the new features. A really cool feature called Link Quality, which is going to give you a lot of cool things to do if you're doing anything like UDLD. If you're doing the igmp proxy, I could use it for that. IPSLA, if you're measuring jitter, packet loss, man, a lot of uses for it. So anyway, check it out there. Thanks so much for stopping by. Sending everybody good bits, and keep on keeping on, folks. Keep on grinding towards that goal and that cert that you are aiming for. We're here for you. Have a good night. See you tomorrow on the Land Tamer stream, 7 p.m. Eastern time, same time. Thank you.